Welcome to Shot Callers Esports. Some more bonus coverage with Worlds going underway. Week 2, officially day 1, wrapped up this morning. We're starting with Group B, Riot decided, because why would you want to start with Group A? That makes too much sense. They got to be unique.
Of course.
Got to start with Group B, which looked like pretty much the most set group coming into this. You look at it, the very first game, Immortals and Gigabyte Marines. Immortals wins that. Oh, that's pretty much the group.
That's it.
I mean, Longzhu, going to get first. I mean, they're a fantastic Korean team. Top LCK seed. And Immortals looked like they were miles ahead of the other guys in the group. So one game, and that's it.
That's all it really would take for the Immortals. Just one game over the Marines, and you pretty much have this whole thing locked up. If you're Fnatic, you're 0-3. Lots of work to do. Their hopes, very, very minimal. And the Marines, you never know what they're going to pull.
Yeah, and Riot made it so that very first game was Immortals and Marines. That's the first game we're going to take a look at. And yeah, we mentioned one win. That's all Immortals needed. But you never know with the Marines, but that's an Urgot.
That's definitely an Urgot and Kane. I don't know how much you know about Urgot. I mean, Immortals probably didn't do too much research into this, but they're still huckling it up. Look, there's an Urgot. That's a free win, right?
I actually laned top versus an Urgot yesterday, and it was terrible. I don't know what's happening. It's a disgusting champion. His moves are very scary. But I mean, it's the Marines. They're going to play something weird. Archie does not play meta champions. And look at this. Let's camp Archie.
Right away. Xfinity goes right up there. Great routing to get behind him. And it looks like a pretty free kill. Both flashes. Wait. Wait a second.
He lived. Xmithy, you forgot to auto him. You forgot.
You didn't auto.
You didn't auto him.
That's
a rare sight, seeing Archie live in these fights, these ganks. Get a little skirmish here in Rift Herald, by the Rift Herald, still early on. 3v3. And there's the Urgot. He goes down, but he's still pretty tanky early on.
Yeah, the Shen drops pretty quick too. The Kane's doing some pretty good damage. He was farming up early. And this is where it gets interesting. Pobuilder gets left to die to the Kane as Xmithy just chases down Optimus. And Pobuilder probably screaming for help. Meanwhile, Xmithy doesn't even kill Optimus. 2 gaffes by Xmithy so far.
Yeah, and meanwhile, Levi on this Kane was doing pretty solid, and Pobuilder with a little bit of the, no, flash.
That's a tilter flash. That's when you're like, I'm dead, but I'm going to flash anyways. And, I mean, Levi kept it going. He was so ahead. A very fed Kane. Pobuilder was getting pushed around by Optimus as well, and he just kept dying to both of them.
The Assassin Kane is very scary when it gets ahead. And here's Archie again, getting ganked, getting camped. Oh, typical Archie, just going down, gonna die.
Wait a second.
Oh, no.
Urgot with the execute. Look at that. And then here comes Ole with the last hit.
Yeah, the KS. That Urgot ult is still one of the most terrifying move in the game. Puts chains on your screen. But I mean, look at the Marines.
Yeah, as they're taking Baron, Archie just keeps split pushing that bot lane. Flame can't kill him.
Nope.
And Pobuilder's doing his best. And once again, there goes the execute.
Archie popping off on the Urgot in this game.
Meanwhile,
1v2 there. And yeah, meanwhile, the Marines just getting advantage all over the map. They get the Baron. They're pushing into the Immortals base. They just needed to win this game to lock up second in the group.
Yeah, and once again, I mean, they just push in, take that inhib down. Another execute from Archie onto Flame. Archie's carrying this game on Urgot. What is happening? And they'll push in once again. Levi tries to pop Cody's son. His GA gets popped, but I mean, they're just gonna walk in from here. No one can kill the Urgot as he just walks into the base. Immortals doing their best to try to stop it, but no one's gonna kill Archie. He's a beast.
I mean, yeah, when this Urgot gets ahead, it's pretty unkillable. And the Marines, you never know what to expect with this team. I don't want to call this a meta comp because it's not by any means, but they played normally. Standard lanes. Archie did okay in the top lane. He's turning around 1v2s. Xmithy misplayed that first gank, but
and the second one.
And the second one. Xmithy didn't look great in that game. Neither did Pobuilder. And I mean, Urgot. Okay, I see you. I see you, Marines.
Yeah.
Busting out the Urgot.
I mean, I like what they did because all of a sudden there's so much pressure that the Marines are supplying on the map. You have that Urgot who can definitely split push against the Shen. That's a very good matchup. Shen's not going to do too much against an Urgot. And if you're Immortals, this team comp, it's something we've seen from a lot of teams this tournament. That's no problem. But it was just so reliant on making it to that late game. And you had losing lanes in every single lane. You had Ryze against Syndra. That's no good for the Ryze. You had the Kog'Maw Janna down there. and they got beat up pretty good as well. So 3 losing lanes against a team that's applying all this pressure. Levi was able to do whatever he wanted on the map, and he just got super fed and applied it all over the place.
Yeah, and obviously the Urgot and Kane are going to take the headlines in this game. But another first-time pick at this tournament was the Ashe in the bottom lane for Noe. And yeah, you mentioned they bullied that Kog'Maw. Ashe hasn't seen much play, but yeah, she's still a strong laner. And I mean, Noe has looked pretty solid this whole tournament. Him and Levi far and away the standouts on this team.
Yeah, and that takes the Marines and the Immortals both to 2-2. You said all Immortals needed was pretty much this win, and they could lock it up, essentially. And now, all of a sudden, this group is up in arms. Yeah. Anyone can take it. Longzhu, obviously, still up there. But, I mean, Marines are fighting for it with Immortals.
Yeah, here's the thing. That game, that first game, Immortals win. The rest of the games almost don't matter. Right. They almost have no implications. Now, they lose that game, and, oh, it just becomes a mess. It becomes a mess. Both these guys at 2-2, I mean, it just screws up the whole groups. So let's jump into that second game that went off, which was the other 2 teams in this group, Longzhu and Fnatic. We got a lot of highlights coming your way.
Yeah, so 5 games coming up quick.
5 games coming up.
So yeah, I mean, Khan got his Jace.
Oh, no.
That's a problem. That's not good.
So as on Fnatic. Or so as on Renekton.
he is on Fnatic, that's right.
On the Renekton, I don't know how I feel about that based on how he's played in the first 3 games here.
Yeah, and the story in this one was kind of the Sejuani versus Rek'Sai battle. And they butted heads quite often early on in this one. Right away, Kuz goes in for the gank at the same time as Broxah. And it's going to be, you know,
go all in for that.
Yeah.
Broxah actually gets the kill secure. The first blood. And Caps would get out. He'd have to pop cleanse, but he gets out. And then little face check action. But it ends up working out pretty well for Longzhu.
Yeah, Khan with the earlier roam as Soaz kind of limps behind him. It's going to be a nice flash there to get away from what's coming in from Soaz. And Khan picks up that kill on that Jace. He's rolling early.
He's just so good on that champion. I'm surprised Fnatic let him get that. That crescendo, just the tip on Kuz there. But he gets out.
The blast cone to freedom, and then Soaz comes in. Looks like a good engage. But he's going to go in a little too far. He hit that last tower shot. He goes down to Prey, who had an amazing day. And then BDD just carries it over. Justice goes down after that nice crescendo earlier. And this one just keeps getting bloodier.
Yeah, that is basically the theme of the games on the second week, is just bloodbaths, high kills, and long drawn-out team fights, much like this one. And eventually the turning tide in this fight is going to be Prey with the aggressive Kog'Maw, just completely deleting the health bars of Fnatic.
Yeah, it was going well for Fnatic at first, but then Prey turned it around, doing so much damage with the Runan's Guinsus, and then it was BDD cleaning it up on the rise, along with his brother there, Khan, coming in. Not actually.
Brother Khan.
Brother Khan. So he'd wrap up that kill, and then eventually, that's all Longzhu would need. They just ran into the base and ended this one.
Yeah, that was pretty one-sided for the most part in that one. And then you got this one, the old NAEU. Last time these guys played, it was 1 reckless flash away, I think, from Fnatic taking that one. Xmithie back on the Ezreal, which I'm not sure I'm a big fan of.
No, and Fnatic's at 0-4. They need a win. And Immortals also really need a win. Xmithie on the Ezreal, as you mentioned. Not the best start for him. Looks like a pretty good gank, but he eases in, misses a Q, misses another, skill shot. And then it gets turned around by Broxah onto Pobelter.
Yep. Nice turnaround there by Fnatic. And yeah, this is do or die. Pretty much every game here on out for Fnatic. Do or die. Starting with this one. And then they get a pretty solid dive here on Flame. Here comes the Rek'Sai going over there. And I mean, Fnatic had a pretty solid start, and then Caps gets a little too over-aggressive with that flash, whiffs the ultimate, and he goes down. Yeah,
and this is a turnaround for the Immortals after they were kind of falling behind in the early game. Sure, they lose that turret, but Flame escapes and gets away with it. And now they're totally caught of position. Broxah sees him with his Rek'Sai passive. Absolutely one-shots Ole, basically, with that damage Rek'Sai.
Yikes.
And then he'd hunt down Xmithie here on that Ezreal as well. And Fnatic starting to run away with this thing. Immortals really need another win, but not making it happen.
Basically, 1 win on the day. Yes. Doesn't matter when they get that win, and they're pretty much secure in there. But there's a nice zoning ultimate from Flame. The Xayah outputting crazy damage. But here comes Cody-san.
Absolutely. Cody-san not able to get reckless, but still a 1-for-0 trade that would eventually net them Baron as Broxah tries to go in for the steal. Doesn't get it. and Immortals would pick up a couple more kills here as well. This game was super swingy, gold leads back and forth, but now it's Immortals in control with that Baron, with a slight gold lead, and they take the siege to the bottom.
Yeah, and not even many high kills so far in this game, but just a lot of skirmishes, a lot of different fighting. Look how tanky these guys are. Flame is tanking so much damage before he finally goes down there, and this is Fnatic's fight for sure.
Yeah, they definitely
keep chasing down.
I mean, both tanks down, all of a sudden the damage starts pouring out. Fnatic keeps coming in with the chase. Codyson may be able to turn it around though. Looks like he's putting out a bunch of damage
that's
what are you doing, man? He goes in for the insect and pushes the cast right onto Smithy as he dies.
To make sure that Smithy goes down with him. Yeah, I mean, you got to think Codyson maybe had a chance to outplay that and maybe swing that fight around, but that was kind of cost the game. Very similar to Reckless in the first game. This time it's the Immortals AD carry who makes a play that turns the fight around.
Yeah, and then they're just going to push in from there. I mean, looks like some low health bars, Immortals may be able to hang on to it. But eventually...
Flashbacks, OMG,
yeah,
2014.
And Soaz gets it with the Nautilus. Fnatic wins this group even
They're
crazier
alive.
now.
They're alive. 1-4.
That's
First
right.
win at Worlds. Look how happy they are. We finally won a game, guys. Woohoo!
Sick.
And Immortals lost 2 in a row.
Yeah. Now, this one, Longzhu versus Gigabyte Marines. The Marines with a win would put themselves into a huge favorite to move on now with Fnatic at 1-4 and Immortals at 2-3. So, I mean, this game definitely means a lot, but obviously Longzhu coming in as huge favorites and Levi bringing out the Rek'Sai, and there's a support Zilean too.
Yeah, the Rengar in the jungle, and, you know, they just don't pick normal stuff. Even when they're running meta lanes, you gotta have crazy stuff. But Rengar doesn't have a great start.
No, he does not at all. Longzhu attacks him early. Good strategy, because Levi likes to get all this stuff going on, but, you know, he gets taken down quick. Great strat. And then Levi answers back.
Yeah, I mean, they head to that top lane and get a super nice stun by the Cinder there on Rakan. That gets the dive on Gorilla, and that's all they're going to get for now. BDD pops in to make sure his boys are safe.
Yeah, and then Levi sitting in a warded bush, going to get ulted and engaged by the Rakan. And Prey starts pouring out the damage. He gets rezzed by Zilean.
Kill him again.
Dead again. That's a feels bad man moment right there. And eventually, Khan would go in on his Jarvan and take down Sia on that Zilean.
Yeah, by the way, Sia subbing in for the second week looked much better than Neven.
Yes, definitely did. And he took Flash, which is nice to see.
That's pretty important. A lot of fights in this game, very bloody game, and a lot of people dying twice with that Zilean ult.
Especially Archie. He got rezzed up in this one. But eventually it's the Marines who turned around after they were paying so much attention to the Galio. It's no way pouring out damage on this Zayag. Like you said earlier, he looked pretty good. They eventually took down 4 guys on Longzhu, Prey able to flash away from that Cinder E, and they would take a Baron.
Whoa,
Marines
here they
pulling
come.
away with it.
Marines, maybe they're the ones getting out in this second seed. Here they are pushing on the bottom inner for Longzhu, and look at this. They're winning these fights.
Yeah, the Zilean bomb explodes on him. Levi comes around for the flank, takes down Cuz as well.
Some damage.
With the damage protection. And they're looking pretty solid. They've got a 5k gold lead. And once again, Archie with the flank here to secure the Immortals away from Longzhu. They take it down, and then they're going to wrap up some more kills as well with Archie doing a lot of just taking in that damage, not dying.
Yeah, I mean, Archie was pretty good today. Playing Urgot, he looked much better on the Galio when he's not dying at level 1. And look at this, the Marines turning this fight around. They ace them 5 kills. And look at this gold lead.
12k.
12k, this game's over.
Yeah, they're
Marines are out of groups.
But a crazy barrel from Cuz, able to pull this one back a little bit. And it looks like still the Marines might take it away. Good redemption to keep him alive, but Longzhu gonna answer back, and eventually it's gonna be an ace of their own.
Oh my god. 5-0 gets them back into the game. Now they're ahead in kills later in the game. Another team fight. That's a whiff barrel there, but doesn't have much impact on that fight. Here you're gonna see Longzhu, despite they're having this huge gold deficit, they're pretty strong.
Yeah, they're definitely pretty strong still. I mean, but Prey here with a great flash to turn this team fight around. And he was pouring out damage all day on this Varus. Great stuff from him, and eventually they'd be able to hunt everybody down. And just kills going back and forth, aces
BDD.
after aces. BD limps out of the Galio queue. And this game's insane.
Yeah, more fights over the Elder Dragon. I mean, this was just constant battling. And yeah, Prey was positioning so well throughout this entire game. Look how long it takes them to kill Archie.
Yeah, and they're going to have to do it twice.
Oh,
but
too
with
bad.
Levi down, I mean, this Elder Dragon's pretty much free. Just going to smite it away. And then with Elder Dragon up with already 3 Elemental Drakes, it's looking pretty good for Longzhu now. After taking down 2, they'll push it.
Yeah, I mean, that whole fight was basically the Marines watching Archie die twice. No one else really contributing to that team fight. 12K! These guys were down, even more than SKT was down against EDG. These LCK teams, it doesn't matter how much they're down.
No, and I mean, great performance from the Marines. They look really solid and looking to carry that into this game against Fnatic. If Fnatic wins, they're all of a sudden tied at 2-4 with the Marines, and they would have taken a game against each other. So the Marines, again, looking to lock up things here with a win over this Fnatic team, and we'll see what they can do. And again, here's Urgot and Kane combo.
Urgot Kane back again, this time against Fnatic, and yeah, quick turnaround for the Marines. Back-to-back games, first time at Worlds, and oh boy, that is a cheeky rupture from Soaz. That is a first blood.
Yeah, that's some great scouting out by Fnatic there, because if they just blind checked that, it would have been pretty ugly, but fantastic stuff. And unlike what Xmithy was able to do here, Fnatic took it to Archie early, and you know what? Actually killed them with auto attacks. Interesting strategy, and they just went back to it over and over.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't a replay. This is actually a different play. They just camped Archie.
This one too?
3 kills. I mean, and then the little bit of disrespect, he walks into them.
Yeah,
I don't know what he's doing there. That was more week 1 Archie. Yeah, they get out to a huge lead. They eventually turn into a Baron, and this was a pretty close game, which was not common on the day. Or a pretty quick game.
Yeah, sorry. Not close whatsoever.
No.
Fnatic absolutely wiped the floor with the Marines again. Took care of that Urgot early, put him behind, and they just had a better overall composition than Immortals did. But it was pretty much the same thing.
Yeah, and now Fnatic sitting at 2-4.
Wow.
With the Marines and Immortals. Now they have to beat Longzhu to get out of this group. You had 2 chances before to get out of this group, and now it's got to be Longzhu. And look who's in the top lane.
It is not Khan. That is Rascal. They got a chance. Longzhu's trying to help out.
Yeah.
Help out their buddy Song.
Yeah, help out their old coach. Say, you know what, we'll take out our best player so you guys have a good chance. And they put some pressure on Flame early on here.
They definitely do. Rascal looking all right. Going to take down Flame, hopefully.
Eventually, very prolonged. The Cho'Gath is hilarious when he runs, but he eventually does go down for first blood. And here's Immortals, though. They come back with a nice engage on Gorilla. They get Gorilla to go down, as well as Prey. 2-0 for Immortals. Nice proactive play there by Xmithy.
Yeah, once again, they're playing Longzhu pretty well here, not falling behind early. And I mean, along the line, they need this win. It's going to come down to the wire. And here's a huge team fight. That, again, no one dies for such a long period of time.
Yeah, I mean, these fights just last forever with all these shields and different stuff. Unless you're getting feasted by the Cho'Gath. That's about the only way you can one-shot someone. And by the way, Prey on this Varus, again, has another fantastic game. They get that into an Infernal Drake here. And then they get a Baron Flame with the flash in, try and feast. Doesn't go so well.
No, he misses that one, and then that's going to be bad news. They take down Prey early, though. Looks like things might go the way of Immortals. But Cody's son eventually gets engaged on, and that is a Baron and a bunch of kills for Longzhu.
Yeah, BDD still alive for the majority of that fight, even though they took down Prey. And then we're back at Baron. This time, Immortals started it. Smite fight? Nope, they're ignoring the Baron.
Yeah, let's just, not care about that. Immortals, such low health bars early on. Prey flashing forward. Again, pouring out all kinds of damage. We'll talk about what he was doing later on. Fnatic, hopeful, cheering on Longzhu.
They need Immortals to lose this game to have their world's hopes stay alive. So yeah, definitely cheering for Team LCK, despite not having Khan. And then Longzhu going to head back to the Baron, this time up the advantage 5v4, and Immortals are still going to come in.
Yeah, Xmithy looking to take that Smite steal, but smartly by Longzhu, just peel off it, get Xmithy out of here, and they keep sticking on that Baron. Eventually they take it down. Huge Baron for them. Yeah,
I mean, that's the Baron they need to pretty much head into the Immortals base. And again, Prey just doing insane damage. Catches Pobelter out there with the Chain of Corruption, and that would pretty much do it.
That's pretty much all they need. Xmithy drops as well as Flame. Triple kill for Prey, and that's it. So Immortals 2-4. 3 teams at 2-4.
3-0 2-3 on the day. The Week 2 NA memes in full force.
Oh, no.
Start this one. And yeah, 3 teams at 2-4. You know what that means, folks. That is a 3-way tiebreaker, which means, yeah, there was about 8 or 9 hours of games on the day to kick off Week 2. I mean, 1 game. Immortals wins 1 game. And this group is boring.
That's it?
Nothing. But the one scenario where it plays out where you can have all these different tiebreakers ends up happening, and you got a 3-way tie. And the rule, which I don't think either of us really agree with this rule, but because there's a 3-way tiebreaker, the team that had the shortest amount of total game time gets a bye directly into the second quarterfinal. And in this case, it was the Marines. So the first tiebreaker, Fnatic versus Immortals. I don't know about game time influencing that.
I mean, it's especially questionable when you look at some of the Marines' losses because they got stomped a couple of times. I know Fnatic lost in 20 minutes to Longzhu, which, I mean, it should have helped their average game time, I guess. So,
yeah.
I mean, if you lose quickly, why does that reward you? I don't know.
The Marines just playing that long con. You know,
yeah,
we'll get blasted a couple games, sub 25 minutes, so that when we get to this tiebreaker, we only have to do one. This group just got so out of control as soon as Immortals lost that first game of the day.
This is the definition of a clown fiesta.
Even Longzhu was affected by the clown fiesta. Yeah. Their games, what was that last game?
I don't know. Even the Marines won.
Oh.
They just bought into it. You know what? If we're going to have fun, we don't want to just be 6-0 and move on. Let's have a party.
Yeah, and they had some kind of party. Yeah. Down 12K, they win. They sub out Con, bring in Rascal, who I'm sure everyone, household name for all those guys. But we got to get those tiebreakers.
Anyways, yeah. So Immortals, the story was 1 win. And that's still kind of a positive. Now they need 2 because they got to go Immortals versus Fnatic in the first tiebreaker. Winner faces the Marines, and the winner of that game moves on to the quarterfinals.
And Fnatic, riding a 2-game win streak, 0-4 at one point in this group. Now they're in.
How are they alive?
How are they alive? Group B has become a mess. But yeah, that first tiebreaker, an old NA-EU rivalry, part 3 in this group. Fnatic taking on Immortals. And I don't know what was going through these guys' heads after playing so many games already this day, but that's a Malzahar.
Yeah, another strange pick comes out. In a do-or-die game, it's a Malzahar brought out by Caps. Crazy. And Footballter back on the rise that he had a rough performance on against Optimus in this Syndrome.
Yeah, and look at this Void comp there on Immortals. You got Rek'Sai, Cho'Gath, and Malzahar. You know, that should be a bonus buff. But let's camp Soaz.
Hey, good strat. Yeah, good idea. Xmithy, reining in those autos again. Nice weaving. There you go. Finish him off.
Oh, it's easier when you have ranged auto attacks.
Yeah, it definitely helps. But Fnatic would come back the other way, and you know, if they're going to camp Soaz, we'll go after Flame. Caps using a pretty hard skill there. Presses R.
He pressed the R button there pretty well. But Soaz coming back, catches out Cody Sun. I mean, Fnatic, you know, this is basically the play. They kill Cody Sun and Ole. They get them down, and they eventually turn that into a Baron. And that was pretty much the main play of the game.
Yeah, that was a huge turning point. And I mean, there's only 5 kills in this entire contest. Soaz takes it down with the feast, and then from there, they walk into the base and take an open in-hit. And there goes Ole. Wow, just gets eaten alive.
And that is a beautiful Rupture prediction, 200 IQ play there by Soaz to catch out Cody Sun. And that, Immortals just roll over.
That's it.
They just roll. They pull a Fnatic against Longzhu week 1. They just go, oh well.
Yeah, we don't want to go to quarters. What are you doing? Immortals, come on.
And he's gone. Immortals, they don't get out. Now we got a tiebreaker part 2 that's between the Marines and Fnatic. What is happening?
I couldn't tell you. All I know is Immortals are gone.
And what is that Marines comp? That's normal.
Yeah, that's almost cheesing in its own right. The fact that they don't have a cheese pick is cheese.
Oh, they're going bizarre. Some next level mind games. Sivir on the Reckless, by the way. 42 KDA on that champion in the EULSS Summer Split. Let's camp Soaz.
The general theme against Fnatic is to camp Soaz. Even if you're Archie, you can get ahead against Soaz. And Levi's coming back.
He TP'd back. Levi waited in a bush for him to come back to kill him again. If that won't tilt you, I don't know what will. Soaz started this game 0-4. So it's over. Fnatic loses, Marines are advancing. Oh, wait.
I mean, the Marines, another great start. They understand how to get ahead. Even this time, Archie goes on to Caps. Good cleanse there, but more CC coming out from Levi. Optimus going to finish him off with the shockwave.
Yeah, 6-1 start to the game for the Marines, but here, Fnatic on the Baron after they got an advantage, and they get it. They get the Baron, they get back in, and then Gambit. The Marines come in after the Baron dies, says, here, you know what? Have 3 kills on top of that, and Fnatic is back in the game.
Yeah, and so is specifically back in the game after picking up a bunch of kills and that Baron buff. Now they have the gold lead, and Levi tries to find an engage here onto Cap, but he does not go down. They turn it around.
That's a Lulu for you. You know, the Lulu Walt will save you. But you see the split screen in the bottom. While this is all going on, the bot lane for the Marines are pushing bottom. They're going for an inhib.
Yeah, and they're going to take down that inhib. And it's really just a question of how much will the Marines lose on the other end. And the answer is not too much. They do a great job delaying. Optimus running away for a long time, getting attention from Fnatic.
House.
And eventually Optimus is going to eat a house to the face.
2 houses to the face. They do get the inhib bottom, but I mean, Fnatic does get a couple of kills. They keep going. They get an inhib of their own in the mid lane, so advantage Fnatic there. They get some kills as well as an inhib.
Yeah, they definitely do. And now Elder Dragon is up. The Marines looking to take it down, just barely secures it, but they're going to get a little bit punished.
3 shots!
No way, just pouring out damage on this just on a broken champion. Looks like it's going to go the Marines away.
3 shots reckless, but Soaz, the interrupt. The interrupt on the Tristana jump. Soaz playing hero. Look at that damage just from his autos.
This is ridiculous. Soaz all of a sudden, after getting camped and being down early, he's carrying the games for Fnatic.
He goes from 0-4 to 8-4, and Fnatic go from 0-4 in the group to 4-4, and they're getting out.
What is going on? I can't handle this.
Reckless can't, he doesn't know what's happening.
This is the most absurd thing I've ever seen. Unlikely run from Fnatic, as yeah, they finished the group 4-4 in advance. You know, there's only 6 games in groups, right?
Oh, well, clearly there's 8. That's just the routine to have 8 games out of these guys. They have got to be ecstatic. Of course they are. So as everyone's saying, this guy is done. Get off the stage, go home. Puts up a fantastic performance on the Gnar, and these guys are going through to quarterfinals in the spiciest, messiest game stretch of games you can imagine. No team has started 0-3 and gotten out of groups, let alone 0-4 in Immortals.
What are you doing?
Immortals. Daphne. 0-4. The NA Week 2 curse.
Oh.
It's starting.
I don't even know where to start. I mean, we knew what happened before we started the show. We were being suspenseful, you know, and being like, wow,
man.
Immortals only needed 1 win. That's it. They went 0-4. Even in the game with only 3 games, they still had a tiebreaker when they lost 0-3 in the week thanks to their good start. This is as easy as a group as you're going to get. You have Fnatic struggling out of play-ins, having the worst week 1 I might have ever seen from any team at Worlds. And then you have the Marines, who just cheesed their way. They play Urgot to win. I mean, no disrespect to them. They actually played pretty well at this tournament, and they brought some great performances out. But Immortals, 1 win. This is a mega choke job, and I do feel bad for the members of Immortals, but what a disaster.
Here's the thing for Immortals. You're getting pretty close to becoming an organization known for choking. You go 18-1 in the regular season LCS, like 16-2 the next year, choke in the playoffs, don't even get to the finals. You get to the finals this year, you have a 10K gold lead, send it to a game 5, you blow that game, you lose the summer finals. You're 2-1 after week 1 in Worlds. Everyone's like, oh wow, great performance, they're getting out of groups. You go 0-4, 0-4. The history's not looking so good there. It's not looking good. And I got Smithy, across the board, they looked like a totally different team in the second week. Cody Sun, a couple of those team fights, I don't know what he was doing there. Pobelter was getting a little disrespectful. He was laughing in that first Marines game. There was a point where Levi went a little too hard and got killed on the turret. He's laughing. I don't know if he's not laughing now. He's not laughing after Reckless flashed in and cost him a game. He laughed at that. Reckless the one laughing now?
Pobelter might never laugh again. I think his life is ruined forever. This was just as big as a gaffe, as a meltdown as you can really see. I mean, yes, last year, or not last year, in 2015, it was Cloud9 went 3-0, and they went 0-4 the following week.
The dream.
And we thought that was pretty bad. And it was terrible as well. But I mean, that team, there was pretty much nothing expected out of them because they came out of that gauntlet and everyone was being like, they're not going to win a game. And then Immortals, this group is too easy not to get out of, especially when you start 2-1 and Fnatic is 0-3. It's a must get out of.
Must get out of. I mean, it's quite mind-blowing. Especially that last game was just, it's got to be, I know the team is clearly not in a great mindset, having dropped 3 in a row, whereas Fnatic is rolling into that. But that was a disappointing performance in their last game specifically. There was nothing there.
There was nothing there. They really did roll over and die. Again, 2 kills, and they just fell behind early, couldn't get anything going. They did the 1 gank on Soaz, and after that, that was it.
That was it.
That was it. Just, it is heartbreak for this team. And even for NA fans. Because it's like, look, even we were saying, it's very likely that they can get 3 teams out of groups.
Yeah.
And we almost said Immortals are a lock. And they were, because this scenario of the 3-way tiebreak was so unlikely. The amount of things that had to happen were seemingly impossible.
Yeah. Now, I'm going to steal a line from you.
Okay.
I said yesterday that Fnatic's bags are packed. They're leaving. But they were just packed for the quarterfinals, guys.
Yeah.
The bags were packed for the quarterfinals. They were ready to go.
Eric never meant they were going home.
No, I never said they were going home. I said their bags are packed, going to the quarterfinals. They're ready to move locations and play a best of.
Of course.
Yeah.
They were just raring to go.
In all honesty, though, whatever first seed gets this pool 2 seed from this group is the easiest second seed. Because these games were super exciting, amazing to watch, but they were terrible. They brought down the play of Longju even. Longju was like, what is going on, man? I guess we'll play some Fiesta. Sure, we're down 12K. Oh, I don't know what's going on. Sure, they got a Rengar that's one-shotting us. Is this solo queue? So, I mean, if you're a first seed playing Fnatic, you're going to be very happy. But Fnatic's very happy to even be there now.
I can't even. I don't know what to say. I mean, yeah, this was bizarre. We were saying, you know, this is going to be a boring-ass day of Worlds.
You were very wrong.
It was not boring. It was definitely entertaining, and every game was just like, what is going on? I can't keep track of this, and the scenarios just seemed too perfect. Every game was basically, if this team wins, then they're going on. And then they lost.
Yeah.
Okay, well, here we go again. I mean, first game, Immortals, you win, you're good. Okay? I mean, the only one where that wasn't a situation, I think, was the Longju Fnatic game. But other than that, Marines had chances to win games. They lost. Okay, here we go. And then the tiebreakers happened, and then Fnatic advances. Good for them for rebounding from, again, the awful 0-3.
4. I mean, basically, every game had to happen as it did for Fnatic to even have a chance. And it did. It was just the perfect storm for these guys. And kudos to them. They completely turned around, as you said. Like, anytime you start 0-4, you drop that first game, and you're like, first game of week 2, and it's like, oh boy, we're going to have a rough go up here. But then you saw in the reactions after that first game where they got their first win, they were like, okay, we got a win. This feels much better than losing. And they just went on a roll from there. Wow. That is going to be hard to top tomorrow for Group C. Luckily for NA fans, there's no NA choking tomorrow.
No, because there's no NA.
That's right.
I mean, we're going to take this Immortals jersey and swap it for the Team Liquid one, because Team Liquid chokes less than what Immortals just did.
Yeah, it's hard to choke out of 7th or 8th place. So.
Yeah, but I mean, they're always 4th anyways. Not lately. Lately they're just
lately they
terrible.
wish they were 4th. Immortals are 4th. I gotta give a quick cheers. Quick cheers to the Marines.
What are you drinking?
You don't want to know.
Okay.
Quick cheers to the Marines, because every game they played in was super exciting. Mordekaiser, Urgot, Rengar, Kane. What else silly did they play? Zillion.
Heal, Ignite, Lulu.
That we'll forget about. Okay. We'll forget about that. That was the big thing that they brought in their sub support, and he looked much better.
Yeah.
Mainly because, getting Flash. Flash is a pretty good summoner. There's a reason you got to wait till level 12 to get that.
Exactly. I'm
yeah,
exhausted.
shout out to the Marines. They did fantastic.
Every time we see them on an international stage, it is not disappointing.
I want them at every international tournament.
Yeah, I mean, they're a wildcard team, and sometimes you're just like, boring. They're just going to play standard and lose because they're not as good as the other teams.
Yep.
I mean, even when the Marines play standard, it's still pretty entertaining. But, I mean, who doesn't love seeing Urgot twice in a day? Kane coming out of nowhere, the Nocturne. It was so exciting. I looked forward to their games. which usually you see a wild card against anybody.
You're skipping that because
I'll wait.
It's a clobber.
Yeah.
But I mean, the Marines, I think Kane is going to be a pick that other teams are maybe picking up. Urgot, not so sure about that. But I think Kane you might see more and more. But, oh, what a start to week 2. And, yeah, so to actually recap, Longzhu gets out 6-0. Fnatic 4-4. That doesn't add up.
What do you mean 4-4?
The Marines 2-5 in third. And last place, Immortals 2-5. 2-5. They were 2-1. What happened? So I mean, that is quite a way to start week 2. And again, I think Fnatic will likely get destroyed, whoever they play, in the knockout stage. But who knows? They were 0-3. Everyone thought they were dead. 6%, only 6% of the pick'ems, perfect pick'ems are left.
Yeah,
6%.
Everyone believed that Immortals wouldn't be last.
6%.
My pick'em went to absolute crap after yesterday.
Now, I don't want to brag.
Okay.
But I did pick Fnatic.
It's not even, see, you can't even brag at this point because they were off.
I knew.
You know.
It was,
you had faith this entire time. I know on yesterday's show you stuck with Fnatic, right?
That's right. Going right to the quarterfinals, as I said.
They're packing their bags.
They start 0-4, just how we drew it up. They start 0-4. Soaz starts 0-4 in their last game. What do? Soaz goes 8-4. Fnatic goes 8-4, right? They play that.
They're going to win their next 4 games.
That's right.
Eric says so. I can't. I'm tired.
Matt and I need a break.
This was insane.
We need a nap after all these games. But we will be back tomorrow to break down Group C, which gets underway tomorrow morning. I don't see how it can follow up with that. The only way is if G2, maybe this is the beginning of the EU revival. Maybe G2 puts up some crazy run where they beat Samsung twice and they're getting out of those groups. Whew.
Yeah, I mean, my money's still on G2-4, but I'm going to have some milk on standby in case it gets spicy again, because I was dying of the spice.
That is an important note, guys. If you're eating spicy foods, you can't drink water. Water just makes it worse. Milk is the go-to drink you want. So if you got some spicy whatever, bring milk. Good lesson there from Matt.
Yeah, that's right.
We'll be back at a similar time in between 11 a.m., 12 p.m.
Depends on how many tiebreakers there are.
Yeah, today was a little stressful, which is why we're a little later. We were here at noon. But maybe we'll be a little earlier next week or tomorrow if, there's not 8 games.
Yeah,
but we will be back tomorrow. So Eric Kummel here with Matt Hempstead. Thanks for watching, and we'll be back tomorrow.